exhale. This is live number 3. Thank you for joining me. Summer Wells and Harmony Montgomery. Let's start with Harmony Montgomery. A judge in New Hampshire declared 5-year-old Harmony Montgomery, who has been missing for more than 4 years, legally dead Tuesday, granting her biological mother's request and clearing the way for wrongful death claims. Harmony's mother, Crystal Sawyer, was in court Monday to argue that despite her daughter's remains never being found, no one has seen the young girl since 2019. Tuesday's ruling states that there will be no death certificate because Harmony's body has not been found. The ruling says Harmony is presumed dead and that her death declaration is conditional upon an authenticated jury verdict in her father's murder trial. Adam Montgomery was convicted last month in Boston for murdering Harmony after he admitted to abusing her corpse. He was convicted of second-degree murder, second-degree felony assault, abuse of a corpse, falsifying physical evidence, and witness tampering. Investigators believe Harmony was murdered in December of 2019. Sawyer, who lost custody of Harmony in 2018 due to substance abuse issues, was also named Tuesday as the administrator of Harmony's estate as she considers pursuing wrongful death lawsuits against the states of New Hampshire and Massachusetts. I'm Harmony's voice and I'm her warrior, basically. So everything I do is for her. Sawyer told the court as she blamed child welfare systems in 2 states. I can't let people forget. I can't only let those 2 people be held accountable because it's not fair. It's not true. Montgomery's estranged wife, Kayla Montgomery, testified that she was present with Harmony when Harmony was killed and also testified that she helped her husband hide the child's body. Officials said Kayla Montgomery continued to claim Harmony as a dependent and unlawfully received $1,500 in food stamp benefits between 2019 and 2021. And that's the information. Hello, Selena. How are you doing? UPI.com is the source. So she has been declared legally dead, Harmony Montgomery. Her mother has now been given the power as her administrator of her estate, as I had brought you that commentary a day ago. And testimony from court is the reason why this declaration has been granted to the mother. You also heard in this commentary that she is suing the state of Massachusetts and New Hampshire. Now, as I discussed earlier in my commentary, does she have the right to sue these states? Because, one, she lost custody of her child. She did a wrangling with the state 3 times. So some might say, you're not deserving of monies. You had a substance abuse problem. You gave your child up at 2 months old. And then you went back and forth, either losing custody or they took the child from you, however, 3 times. So the child was in your care 3 times, other foster homes, and then handed to Mr. Montgomery foolishly, ignorantly, not verifying information, that judge in New Hampshire, and you can't go back. You can't take it back. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much. So this is a sad situation. It's sad even thinking about her last days, okay? What she went through, living with these people, different people, because in the end, we really don't know how the child was treated in any of the locales where she lived, okay? I'm not banking on who was doing what with her, because I do believe the child was traumatized from all the moving around, from foster care, then with the mother, then to Adam, then being mistreated at the home where Adam lived with his family. It's no telling what that child went through. So 9 times out of 10, she's in a better place. Not how she got there, but she no longer has to suffer. She no longer has to be shuffled around like a rag doll. She's at peace. We don't need to think about the flesh and what happened to her, because they'll just make us sick at the stomach if we just dwell on what we think happened, if we believe what Kayla said. It's all macabre. It's macabre. Matter of fact, there was more disrespect after life when you hear what Kayla testified in court about all the places they shuffled around with the dead body. It's disrespectful, but that's the whole point. There was no uh, there was no respect for the child in life, so you couldn't think they would respect her in death. Should this mother receive funds for wrongful death from Massachusetts and New Hampshire? I say no, because she lost custody. She gave her child up one time, and then back and forth with the state, removing the child from her custody. So I do not believe she needs any funds. And the state rarely pays. Probably never, because I haven't heard of one case dealing with juveniles where the state paid a parent because the child died in foster care and or adoption. I haven't never heard of it. And I just have not. I have not heard it. So that's the said information coming out of New Hampshire. Massachusetts. She has gotten the power to be administrator over the child's estate, so she can now sue whomever she feels exacted a wrong against her said child. And it's 2 states, Massachusetts, New Hampshire. Second part of this live stream is pertaining to Summer Wells. Let's hear that said conversation.
Marks a sad milestone in an East Tennessee missing child investigation that has captured national attention. Summer Wells has been missing for 1,000 days. The 5-year-old disappeared from her rural Hopkins County home in June of 2021. The little girl liked Paw Patrol and was preparing to start kindergarten. If alive, she is now 8 years old. And here's the TVI's latest age progression image of what she could look like today. Summer's mother says the little girl was last seen inside her family's Beach Creek home. The TVI calls the search for Summer one of the most exhaustive and involved missing child case it's ever investigated, and promised not to stop searching for Summer until it finds answers. She is still the subject of an Amber Alert. Anyone with information can call 1-800-TVI-FIND.
All right, everybody. That's WVLT News. So, 1,000 days. That's a lot of days. We're now in the month of March 2024. The girl child went missing, coming up on a 3-year mark this summer. And it's baffling. Summer went missing in the summer. Interesting. No new updates from TBI or Hawkins County Sheriff's Department. No new information from relatives, family, bio parents. And frankly, they're not the people you would want to be hearing anything from, because they don't know how to conduct themselves in a civilized manner. So I don't bank on anything they have to say. I don't listen to anything they have to say. If I do listen, I don't regard it. It is a tragedy in itself, because we're now going into a 3-year mark, and it'll be shameful to look up. We're in the month of June, and it's the anniversary, 3-year anniversary. Still no updates, still no sightings. Nothing. No update, no searches. I haven't even heard about any type of searches. And it's just a sad situation for a girl child. She left behind brothers who are in foster care. One should be at least 16 years of age, the oldest brother. So he's getting on up there in age. And soon he will be out in the world on his own. Don't know how he and the other brothers are faring, if they are doing well. So, it's just a sad situation. A very sad situation. I don't know what happened to Summer Wells. Everyone has his or her opinion pertaining to what they think happened to the child, different theories, so on and so forth. But as I always say, bring me a receipt. And most people can't bring a receipt because, hell, they don't know what happened to her. We just know she's not visible. And it's sickening. And no matter what you think happened to her, there was no regard for her, as there was no regard for her brothers. Because I always like to put the brothers in this conversation, because people have their ideas of what excuse me, of what happened and who was treated better and who was regarded better. They were never regarded better. That's what people need to understand about child abuse, child neglect, wayward parents. You have two ships that crossed paths in the night. They linked up, made children, already had their own separate baggage and children from previous relationships that they messed up, jacked up. And then these two meshed and made children, and now those children are gone. 3 are in foster care, and 1 is believed to be unalive. It's redundancy. Redundancy. And you see this with certain type of people. They cannot get it together. They do not learn from their past mistakes. And that's what you have with the Wells. 2 jacked up human beings who don't care about anything. And all this fluff that went on for years into the case, everybody coming out pretending to care and be concerned, and they have information pertaining to the Wells and the little girl. All they have done is made it worse. Made it worse. That's all they've done. It's made it worse. And I don't think people really understand what has happened in talking about Summer Wells and allegedly trying to be helpful and bring forward information. Most of you have just made a mockery out of this case pertaining to this baby girl. You have done nothing of use and purpose because, as you see, she is still missing. There's no new information. And I think it's awfully pathetic that Ronnie Lawson Sheriff's Department has not even said anything. And although we may not like what he would have to say, which is probably next to nothing, but just principle, why not just even say that, hey, we are still working the case? As I saw a comment earlier, someone said, hell, are they even still working the case? So are you all still working the case? I'm assuming the Amber Alert is still on the TBI, but are you all faithfully working the case? Because you have not brought an update, and I do believe you're supposed to have brought an update a year or so ago. You have not, Mr. Lawson. TBI, nothing. And people are weary, concerned about this child. And there are some people who are actually concerned about Summer Wells. There are some real, genuine people out here who worry about her, especially if she just so happens to be alive, worried about the hands she's in, what they're doing to her, how they're treating her. And as I told people, when you look at the family dynamic, you can't possibly think some decent people would have her, okay? No way you could think a decent family person would have her in their peripheral, because what you have to look at is what's obvious, who she was living with and staying with and being reared by. And those people are not what we would consider decent, wholesome people. So I'm supposed to believe they would hand her off to some decent, wholesome people? No, I don't believe that. If I'm to even believe that she's alive. And my mind is telling me, just like with these other cases that you hear out here of no coverage, no CCTV footage of the child coming or going, leaving a house, being seen here, there. It's usually nefarious business to what happened to the child, which is usually an end result, a fatal result, foul play, unalived by their caretakers. And as I told people, I try to work on not prejudging a situation when I hear a true crime story of a person missing, because there have been people here locally missing here in Knoxville, Tennessee area and around, and they have been found, located, wherever they were, friend's house, sitting in a ditch, wherever they were alive. So you don't want to jump the gun and start, passing rumors that somebody harmed a person. When you don't know the people, you don't know the circumstances. And so it's a blessing when you hear an elderly person was somewhere, nobody knew where he or she were, and then they found them. So this is why you do not want to start assuming what happened. But when you get horrible backgrounds, such as with Summer Wells and her brothers, the ignorant behavior of the parents playing out on YouTube and social media, you use deduction to say the children had no business in their care. And I'm not thinking the best situation for the girl child. How could you? Why would you? And that's just from perception of what you have seen play out here on YouTube. So it doesn't matter that someone is pretending that they believe in God and go to church and that they are in a better place. My thing is, God is the only one that can judge you. And he truthfully would know your heart and don't know your heart. So I'm of the flesh, so I'm going to be judgmental. But it does not mean that you have actually changed because you say one thing and trying to make people believe one thing. Because words are cheap, okay? And we've learned this with so many true crime cases. People get up and pretend and put on for the cameras that they're, missing their loved one and starting to tell you things about them, what, especially with children, what they like to do, cartoons and their favorite doll and all that. And it's all a bunch of BS. It's just a bunch of BS. Where is Summer Wells? I have no idea. Who is behind the disappearance of the child? I have no idea. I don't go to Facebook, sweetheart. I rarely go to Facebook for anything pertaining to Summer Wells. I don't venture over to Facebook. It is March. We have a few more months. It will be warmer. It will be summer. And I just hate to see this day coming because I have said it before in my commentary. Lord, please don't let us roll into the summer of 24. And there is no Summer Wells. There's no update. There's no sightings. There's no, factual information. And I know I said that the first summer she went missing, which was 21. And I think back to those years because that was a time when I was in transition in my own life. And I can just mark the calendar, you know what I'm saying? Day for day, month for month, what I was doing, what I had going on while this girl child was missing. Then you roll into the new year, 22, still missing. Then you roll into 23, still missing. Then you roll now into 24, she's still missing. It's bad. And as they say, first 48 hours of a crime or disappearance of a person is pivotal, crime or missing. 72 hours missing is definitely not good. Because as you heard with TBI, she told you, usually we have an idea where a case is going. She said that years ago, but we have nothing. Now, I don't know if she was just saying that because they didn't want to tell us what they did have. And I'm assuming they probably have a lot of information to digest, whether it be rumor, rhetoric, or what they've gathered from, GPS, things like that. But they're not willing to share it with the general public. And I have often wondered that. So it's like, what do they have pertaining to the child? What information do they have pertaining to the parents? What do they have on their GPS, in their cars, on their phone, their devices? What do they have? Why not share it with us? Why not share with us your last sighting of her, okay? Tell us where you all have her on CCTV footage in Kingsport or wherever, or possibly they don't have her. She was a little person. She was allegedly in the car traveling with the mother in different locales in Kingsport on that day. So maybe the child didn't get out of the car in front of a camera where they could say, well, this is where we last saw the child in the care of her mother or whomever. What happened to Summer? Was she sold? That's one theory. Harsh punishment. They discarded the child. Child had an accident. They covered it up. One of her siblings hurt her. They covered it up. Or did the parents hurt her and they discarded her? And like I said, I try not to dwell on any theories pertaining to her because it just takes away from the case. And with all the things that have been said about her, things said about her family members, things said about people who knew the family, church members and things, I just don't want to go down that hole because it's pointless. And the fact that she's still gone, the fact that there's no update is the reason why going over all those theories and assumptions and rumors is really a waste of time. It's a waste of time. How you doing? Hello, love. How are you? Thank you. Okay, kitty cat, you're welcome. Thank you. So you don't know what to think because I've brought you these stats in numerous videos about missing children. And the one stat that sticks out is that most children are unalived by their parents and their caretakers. That's not made up. That's not a myth. There are actual FBI stats, and the numbers are high. And they're up there near like 500 a year. Children are murdered by their own parents. So that should tell you something right there. Not a random stranger, not an abductor, not the boogeyman, not, Ronald McDonald, but the mother, the father. And when you go into YouTube Q, everything pertaining to missing children or abused children, it's by their parents. It's rarely by the neighbor. Rarely it's the babysitter. Okay? It's the mother, it's the father, it's the foster parent, it's the adoptive parent. It's the person who was taking care of the child, whether it was a legal handing of a child, signing of papers, adoption, or I gave you the child to keep for a while. It's the caretaker, okay? It's the caretaker. And it's sad to hear the story. Worse, when a parent lost custody or handed the child over to foster care, and then the child goes into foster care or whomever, adoption, and then they're abused by that parent because you're hoping for the best. Okay, it didn't work out over here with the biological parent. Hopefully over here, these people will do a better job raising the child, fostering, adoption, whichsoever. As you saw with the West case out in California, a very dire case. 2 little Black boys going into foster care, adopted to later be unalived by these heathens, Jacqueline and Trezell West. And then they were only found guilty of death of one, which is so bizarre to me that you could assume they murdered one, but you wouldn't assume they murdered the other one. So where do you think the other child went? So that's why I said with this case with Summer, it's no different. There was no love for any of the children. It's obvious. That's why the 3 are not at home with the Wells, have not been returned. Because 9 times out of 10, they didn't do what they needed to do, follow protocol, and or, hell, didn't want them back. I don't know. Because like I said, I don't bank on the rumors because you're never going to get the truth pertaining to the Wells children, Summer Wells. That's just the way it is. You believe whatever you want to believe or whatever you heard. But if you don't have that shit in ink, you don't have somebody from the Department of Human Services telling you, this is what we had on them, this is what we found, this is the reason why the children are with them, you have no idea. And they're stupidly telling people years back that the children, that the DHS allegedly were coming to their home. That was a rumor. I told myself then, what fool would tell the general public that? Oh, yeah, by the way, the state had been coming by. Well, then you're basically telling on yourself that what? You did something to your child because the state was investigating you. So that means you're telling on yourself. I never could understand that. That's why I said I need to hear this for myself to make it make sense. But this is what happens when you are ignorant and you don't have any common sense. You just talk and you blab and you don't think about what's going on. Because only a fool would tell the general public this. Oh, yeah, Department of Human Services, they were coming by our house, they knocked on our door, they left a card, and then you're sitting here thinking to yourself, wait a minute, you have a whole kid missing, and you're going to go on a YouTube channel and tell people that? So I'm supposed to think you didn't do something to your child if these people were actually looking for you, stopping by, banging on the door, whatever? And that's why I always tell people, bring me a receipt. Because how do they know somebody was looking for them? That means you'd have to have been in the house and didn't answer the door. And we know in a dire situation, DHS can involve law enforcement and they can make that door open. Stay woke. Now, as far as someone in the chat talking about Summer Wells and their area, I always found it strange that many people weren't talking about her. You didn't see people rallying for her. You know, a little sprinkle of this and this and this over here and there with little bitty, gatherings pertaining to Summer Wells. But I didn't feel this heavy presence that should have taken place up in eastern part of Tennessee, because they're a little ways up from me, an hour. And I found that baffling, and I still do. You have a whole baby missing. There should be more conversations. There should be more rallying. But you don't hear anything. And I told myself, there has to be a reason why that general area, they're not on it, going around town, putting up posters, handing out flyers. You rarely hear anyone from the local news up there, Kingsport News, saying, yeah, we've got flyers put up. We've got bulletin boards here and there. It's baffling to me. So it's almost like they're saying, we already know what happened to her. We don't need to talk about her, which is still rude because it's a child. But you understand what I'm saying? You start to wonder what in God's name is wrong with the people up there, because there are other jurisdictions besides, Hawkins County. A whole lot. And you question that. You should be questioning, why aren't you people talking more about her? So I want to thank WVLT News 8 here in my locale for showing us that you care and that you remember Summer Wells, that you're thinking about her at the 1,000-day mark. Thank you, Channel 8 News. We appreciate that. Because obviously up there, I don't know what they got going on. I don't know what they have going on. And it's shameful. I don't know. Well, I'm not going to hold you all because I see how ignorant the chat is becoming, and I don't have time for that. It's sad, as I had said before, you can't even talk about something serious here on YouTube. You can't go live. You can't have panels. You can't, engage in a diplomatic fashion in pertaining to talking about a girl child missing, because there are people who don't take it serious. And I mentioned this the other day in my commentary. I mention it quite often, pertaining to the internet and the internet junkies and the people who they have something mentally wrong with them. That's why I said a lot of the people who comment in the chat, they go up on panels, that comment in the comment sections of articles. They're just like the people in the story. They're 1 minute from becoming a YouTube video. They're 1 minute from becoming a news break article. 1 minute from becoming a story on News Nation. People tell you a lot about who they are when they speak. And when you're talking about something as serious as a child missing, they're showing you what they are made of. Okay? They're showing you that. because this is a serious conversation. And it doesn't make any sense to be in the chat putting on derogatory comments about the host, the hostess, or the subject matter. This is serious. But this goes to show you what is out here. So that's why I'm not stunned at anything that transpired pertaining to Summer Wells. Her parents' behavior, people pretending to be caring neighbors and associates, staying on YouTube on videos and going live and having channels and all that. They're just showing you what they're made of. They don't really care about Summer Wells because there's really no reason to have a YouTube channel to just talk endlessly about what the hell's going on up there in, bumfuck Egypt, because there's nothing going on up there. There's nothing going on up there. Nothing. I mean, it's this is all they're doing right now. 115 people in the room, I thank you. And then the rest is the garbage. and it's sad. And it's sad. Because this is what I'm trying to make people understand. This right here, this box of what we're doing, the ignorance of it all, it's the reason why a girl child is missing and 3 boys are in foster care. Because there are people with the same idiotic mindset, idiotic behavior, asinine behavior. That's what I always try to make people understand. Look at what you're seeing on the news and then look at what comes in the chat and on the articles and the people going into Facebook groups commenting. They are just like those whales. They are just like those people making YouTube videos. They're bottom feeders. They're bottom feeders. They're low rent. They don't have a life. They don't have direction. They don't have a focus. They're empty inside. And that is what the world is made of, okay? A bunch of empty people. And that's how this sweet little girl got down, because she was around emptiness while her brothers are in foster care. And they might even like being in foster care. I'm praying that they're treated well, exceptionally well. But it's sad that they're separated. It's sad that they may come out these foster homes as young men with no family. And I don't think people really understand what that's like to grow up in foster care, to come out into the world and age out of foster care at 18. Because you could end up worse than what was going on with the Wells. Do you know how many children age out of foster care if they don't go to college? If the people don't want to keep them in their homes? I don't think you think about that. They end up worse than what they went through as a child. These children don't have a family. If those people out west want to be considered family, do they call? Do they talk? Is foster care letting them talk to these family members of Mr. Wells? Candace's family members? Anybody that's half-ass decent? Are they allowed to even talk to the boys? See, these are the things that you think people will want to know and ask questions about. Because these children need substance in their life. They need somebody to rally for them. They need someone to stand in the gap for them. And this is the reason why they're not together and one's missing, because no one stood in the gap for the Wells children. And if it's not the Wells, it was the West boys. Okay? It was Harmony Montgomery. Nobody stood in the gap for them. Nobody. Nobody stood in the gap. And I'm wondering the end result of this Harmony Montgomery situation. Kayla will be getting out of prison in May. What is she going to be doing with herself? Will she go back to her old ways of using drugs, getting in cahoots with bad boys, aiding them? Will she get knocked up pregnant again? She's still young. Crystal, she still, I'm sure, can bear children. Will she have more children? Both of her children now are gone. Baby boy in foster care, daughter dead. You see, all these stories are eerily similar because their parents are the problem. And then they get shuffled around place to place, you see. Home to home, foster care, auntie, uncle, this person, whatever. And then boom, you hear that story. Oh, they're being abused. Oh, they're missing. Now, oh, they're dead. That's the problem. That's the problem. These stories are all eerily similar. They are eerily similar. This is a two-part live pertaining to Harmony Montgomery. The judge has declared her legally dead, and the mother now has the right to sue the state of Massachusetts and New Hampshire. And Summer Wells has been missing 1,000 days. This summer will mark 3 years that she went missing out of Rogersville, Tennessee. And we have not heard any update by law enforcement, TBI, or anyone. Will they finally bring us an update? I guess marker 3 year, possibly so. I don't really know. I don't know where she is, but I think it's just so pathetic that we're almost at 3 years and there's no new information about Summer Wells. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. Hey, Brooke, how you doing? Hello, everybody in the chat. Thank you for joining me. It is a very sad case. It's a very sad case. And what's worse is that, as I say this all the time during the live streams, just as quick as you're talking about Harmony, you're talking about Summer, you're talking about the West case, the Boswell case, that'll be coming up eventually when she goes to trial. There's always another case. Okay? There's always another case. Just as quick as you're talking about one missing child, one deceased child, there's another one around the corner. You can't even keep up. This is every day. Someone is hurting a kid, abusing a kid, stealing a kid, sexually abusing a kid. Okay? Just brought you a case yesterday. Please check out that video in the YouTube queue of the 15-year-old who was having sex with her mother and the mother's husband. Okay? What would possess a woman to have sex with her own 15-year-old daughter and her man just because they found out she was on the internet talking to men and sending them pictures of herself? You think that's the remedy to teach your child a lesson not to have sex with strangers? Oh, well, I'll have sex with you. This is what's out here. Pure filth. Pure filth. That's what's out here. And someone had mentioned something about that area, Provo, Utah, is Mormon country. Maybe. But you can't hide behind God and religion. If they are religious, I don't know. I'm not here to make any claims that they are. But the point is, I don't know how you can fix your face to tell your girl child, we're all going to have sex together to keep her from being on the internet. Why not take her phone? Why not take her computer? Why not try to get her some help? Why not talk to her about the dangers of talking to strangers, sending pictures of yourself? That's what you should be saying to your child. Not, hey, let's go sleep together. Let's take a shower together. I mean, just reading the information I read last night to the chat is highly disturbing that a woman would sleep with her own girl child. They're all three was sleeping together. Are you hearing what I'm saying to you? See, because you don't know people. You don't know people. Evie, yeah, I saw that the other day. The drain pipe, I saw that the other day. Yes, I saw that. I heard about that. 10-month-old baby or so, yes. She was living in a shelter with this guy she met. Yeah. One love, it's okay because I'm about to leave. Because, like I said, I don't have this kind of time. I just wanted to come on to bring you all the latest updates. This is why one of the videos I turned the comments off, because this is what you get when you go live. I don't know why. When you go live from the phone, this is what I get. Now, if I go live from the computer, I rarely have all this interference in the chat. But some reason when you go live by the phone through YouTube, this is what you get: the trolling and the endless barrage of derogatory comments and everything. And it just goes to show you this is what kind of world we live in. This is what I'm trying to make people understand. What you see in the comment box in this video and others live streams, that's the type of filth that raises children. That's the type of filth that has sex with children. That's the type of filth that likes to send naked pictures of themselves to children. Yeah, I said that. The same disgusting behavior that's in the chat, that's what's trying to seduce a little girl, seduce a 15-year-old girl, 12-year-old boy, doesn't matter. You're the same type of filth. It is what it is. It is what it is. Oh, you just go on the YouTube app and hit the cross button, and the shorts come up, and you can download however you choose if you're able to. Well, shorts, honey, I'm bringing content. The shorts, you only have a short amount of window to say something in the shorts. You understand what I'm saying? You don't have a long window. That's why you go live. You choose your format, how you choose to go. I go how I choose to go, whether it be StreamYard or on the phone, on a computer, or I can upload content. I mean, it's up to my discretion how I want to bring my content. Oh, you're welcome, Kitty Cat. Thank you all so much. Thank you for tuning in. Okay, I understand. Okay. You're welcome, sweet. You're welcome, Sam. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Oh, well, like I said, people choose to go upstream, live stream how they see fit. Everybody does things differently. Some people are just shorts, king and queens. That's all they do. They don't talk about anything windedly. They just make a short video about something, and that's how they want to do their network. They may not even have an actual YouTube channel where they sit and talk about things. That's what I'm saying. Everybody does things differently, pertaining to their channel. I rarely do shorts. I rarely do the videos, even just uploading them, because they don't seem to get a lot of views when you just upload them. You have to build a fan base, in the what I call the six figures, to where you can do it however you want, and they'll watch the content no matter how you upload it. Whether I go live, whether I upload. If I had 100,000 people subscribe, I don't think it would matter how I go. They will go look for my information, or they'll get the notification. They'll be like, oh, she made a short. Oh, she made a video. They won't care. And frankly, to me, it's just really more professional to upload the videos. No interaction, no barrage of this. You don't have to deal with any of that. You make the video, upload it to YouTube, then you're done. And then you can either leave the comment box open or close. Kitty Cat, I don't. I think the parents did something to her. That's what I think. Yeah, well, just like your mama. How about that? They're disgusting. These people are sick. They don't have a life. Sad. Yes, I think the parents did something to her. Yeah, I think that. This is the one case I say that I think that the parents are involved. What exactly they did, I don't know. But what I bank on is that when they did the searches months later in the winter, they were back there in that area where they lived. So that, to me, showed me there's a reason why they're back there. And see, that's the one thing people don't seem to understand about missing people. Whenever they have a designated place that they look, there's a reason for that. It's not happenstance. You're going to always look near where a person lived. That's just common sense. You always go out and look where they live. But she went missing in the summer. So now you're all up in November, December, and you're just still looking back there. So that led me to think maybe they believe she was discarded back there. So that's what I think. That's what I think. I'm going to check out of here. But prayers that there are answers for Summer Wells. As I said, we're going into the 3-year mark this summer. No new updates from law officials, TBI. But when I get an update, I will surely bring it to you. But I just wanted to, let you hear the audio from Channel News 8 that they, are letting you know that the child has been missing a total of 1,000 days. And as far as Harmony Montgomery's mother, Crystal Surrey, she is now the administrator over the child's estate. She's gone to court. The judge has deemed the child legally deceased. And also she will now go forward to sue the state of Massachusetts and the state of New Hampshire. But I do not believe she's deserving of the money because she willingly played this cat and mouse game with the state that she lived in because she was a user of drugs. And that was her downfall, why she couldn't keep her kid and why she couldn't keep her son. So see, it's not just about Harmony either. There was another boy child who had a mother who was an addict. So you don't really have any business asking the state for money. Sue the state for what? And then how are you going to tell a judge what happened to your other child? See, this is what people don't think about. Although that child is alive, but you don't have custody of him. So there's a reason you don't have custody of that child. So how are you going to go before a judge and say, you all owe me money because you failed my child? But it started with you, Crystal. You understand? It started with you. It started with you. You brought her here. She was in your womb. You played possum, cat and mouse games with the state. You played actually a dirty game with the state because they were kind enough to give you your child back. You had 3 runs with the state. You also had a boy child. So you couldn't keep 2 children. So how does the state owe you money? Are we sorry that your child is not alive and suffered? Of course. Anyone with empathy would feel bad for Harmony Montgomery. But what I don't think is right is the fact that you sit on TV acting as if somebody just kidnapped your baby and she was later found dead, or somebody testified that she was carried around from bag to bag, place to place. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. You had a chance to redeem yourself 3 times, and you could not do that. You also had an obligation to your baby boy, and you didn't fulfill that obligation. Drugs were more important. And although you didn't get to see your child, you were calling Adam, you couldn't see the child, whatever. I get it. You wanted to see your child. But in the end, some of us are going to question, were you still using narcotics all that time you were reaching out to law enforcement trying to find your child, trying to find Adam? Were you still a user then? See, all that's important. Because you now have 2 children on the books that you no longer have custody of. Okay? Exactly. If she still has a problem, exactly. Getting the child back wouldn't help you if you still have a substance abuse problem. Very, very good point. If you don't have that in line, you don't have that covered, you still will be in the same predicament with the children. Exactly. So that's why I'm wondering if she is fully recovered. Has she gotten help now? Is she going to meetings? See, all that matters. Is that guy she's with, is that her husband or her boyfriend? Because you have to think about, does she work? Because you've been seeing her in court. When Adam had the trial and he didn't show up, she was there. So how were you able to travel to another state every day to go to court. Stay woke. See, you have to think about those type of things. Are you actually in that type of predicament that even if, let's say, Harmony was alive, that you could actually take care of her round 4? I just don't feel like she deserves that opportunity. If the child was even alive, you understand, she did not deserve that opportunity. Because like some people said, they don't really feel like she was being genuine. I've heard some people say that with the time she was running, trying to find the child, there were gaps in between her, calling and whomever she was trying to reach out to locate the child. And I also found that baffling that Adam would cut off contact with her. Now, he's using, she's using, Kayla's using, but yet he's cutting off contact with the mother. That was bizarre to me. I don't know if that's really the truth or not, but it's bizarre. It's bizarre. Thank you all so much for supporting this network, following the dream of this network. Like, share, subscribe. Drop your comments below this video. I'll put up a poll pertaining to this information of Summer Wells and Crystal suing the state, both states, and the child being declared legally dead. We could talk about it another time, but I thank you for following this network. And if you'd like to donate to this network, $BigAngie129 Cash App, stickers and chats are always welcome during the live stream. Thank you so much for, as I said, following this network. Hold on one second. This is just... It's just too much going on right now. Zach, shut the hell up. You know what? I'm going to say this, and I shouldn't have to say this, but I'm going to say this. I wish the fuck you people find you something to do. We're talking about one child dead and one possibly dead. And the fact that you're so ignorant and disrespectful, talking about death. These are babies. You want to troll something? Go on Facebook. Countless of videos you can troll. Countless of things with memes. Troll that. See, this is what I've learned about people. What goes around comes around. Okay? Yeah, whatever. See, just sickening. These people are really, really sick. It's sad you can't hold a decent conversation. It's to the point where you have to damn near put the video on private, have other people where you meet up and you can talk because these people are ill. But this is what I'm saying to you. What you're saying in the chat, it's the very reason why Harmony Montgomery's gone, Summer Wells is gone, the boys are gone, because it's this same type of behavior. These are the same type of sick people. And you know what's even worse? Some of them probably have children in their house that they should be minding and putting to bed, and they're all the way over here on the Vault XL commenting under a video pertaining to dead babies. That should tell you something right there. That should tell you. Honey, guess what? You know Queen ain't worried about it. Guess what? I got a life. So I ain't worried about what they doing. I ain't worried about it. You all have a wonderful night. God bless all of you. I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you for listening to the Vault XL. Thank you so much.